Check 1, 2. Louise, what's going on?
Hi.
Hey, how are you doing?
Well, thank you.
All right, welcome. I don't know if we've ever had class before. I don't recognize your picture. Have you ever had class
No,
with me
no,
before,
it's my
Louise?
first. It's my first class with you.
All right. Well, yeah, nice to meet you then.
Me too.
Franz, can you hear me?
Yes, hi Justin, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Nice to see you. And Adela, nice to see you. It's been a long time. Can you hear me, Adela? Yeah? Maybe she's on
Yes,
mute.
yes.
All right, great. So, everyone, I'm going to share a document with you. I've had I've had trouble with the sharing them on lately on screen share, but on the chat here, I'm going to put in the document that we're going to be using today. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
So the third conditional. Do you guys know what the third conditional is about? What can you tell me about the third conditional, Luis?
I think it's when you are talking about something inconditional, but it's not real to. It's um it's something that is probably to happen, but not. But you are not sure about this.
Okay. All right. Good. Yes, you're on the right track. You're definitely on the right track. All right. So you guys, everyone see the document I've shared here? You can
Okay.
go to it, but I'm going to also share on here. I'm going to do a screen share. Give me a second. All right. Let me see right here. Good. All right. So everyone could see what I'm sharing here at the moment.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to go through it at first. So don't go too fast. I'm going to kind of gradually introduce you to it. All right. So the first part, I decided to become an English teacher when I was 25 because I wanted to be able to travel around the world and work at the same time. If I hadn't become an English teacher, I would have studied marketing. We're going to focus on this one right here. All right, the third conditional. So I want just Franz, can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yep.
I want you to, without looking at what I just said, I want you to unscramble, or anybody. Everyone could put this in the chat. I want you to unscramble these words and create the third conditional. So we have if I not become teacher, study marketing.
Sorry, teacher. Could you show the document, please?
Yep, you could see the document, yes?
Okay.
Yeah, I think everyone could see the document. I also shared it in the link.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Very good, Franz. Very good. All right, Marcos, welcome. Nice to see ya. And David, nice to see you again. Kako,
Hello, Justin.
hey.
Hello, Justin.
All right, guys. Here's another one for you. I want everyone to try to unscramble these and send me what this in the third conditional. Let's just see. Give a attempt, okay? Attempt to unscramble the words into the third conditional. Right here. So if travel to not a teacher, Columbia, B.
Where should we put it?
You can put it in the chat. Very good question. Just give you guys a little sample. See how well you do with the third conditional. Anybody? I don't see any samples yet. Anybody have a sample for me based on these?
One moment.
Okay. Take your time. Okay, good, David. Very good. All right, Franz. I got a sample from Franz here. So this is what Franz wrote me. Now we're getting them. All right, let's check out your guys' samples. All right, first we got Franz. If I hadn't traveled to Colombia, I would be a teacher. All right, is this the third conditional?
No, not because of B.
Yeah. So what conditional is this?
This is the second condition, I guess.
Well, it's actually, we call this a mixed conditional
Okay.
because it's a mix of the third conditional, which is right here. And then also, what do we need here? If we start with the if clause, we have a little pause here. Comma, exactly. And then we have the second conditional here. I would be a teacher. So this is, I would be a teacher now. I would be a teacher. Yeah, it's routine. Something in the present to the future. All right.
Yeah.
So how do we change this to the past or the third conditional? We have to change everything to the past. If I hadn't traveled to Colombia, I would
Have been a teacher.
Excellent. Exactly. So this is what makes this very tricky, okay? We have a lot of irregulars, possible irregulars here. All right, we got Louise's. We're going to just go over a couple of them. If I learned music in school, I would have been a musician. So this is perfect. I would have been a musician. But here we have to change this to the what form? Does anybody know?
Participle.
Yep.
Past perfect.
Past perfect. You guys know this. You have a little bit. So how do we change to the past perfect? If I
Had.
learnt. So learn is kind of one of those interesting ones where we can also do learned. Two different versions of the participle, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Very good, Luis. All right, Adele, if I didn't traveled, so just like before, instead of the past simple, we have to change to the past perfect. So Adela, what do we say here?
I hadn't traveled.
There you go. Traveled. And this is kind of funny. I think Some UK English speakers use double L, but I only use one L for traveled. If I hadn't traveled to Colombia, pause, I would have been with a teacher. Okay. I would have been with a teacher, or I would have been a teacher. Or I wouldn't have been a teacher. Well, it depends. Depends. All right, let's go to Marcos. If I hadn't traveled to Colombia, I would have been a teacher. Very good. If I hadn't traveled to Colombia, I would have been a teacher. Okay. Very good. So let's talk about the structure a little bit more. I'm going to grab this example here before we get started. We have this example. If I hadn't become an English teacher, I would have studied marketing. So we have the if, past, not participle, it's actually the past perfect with the participle, comma, plus would have participle. Okay? Alright. And this has, obviously we need a subject here, right? Alright. So, this is my first example we talked about. If I hadn't become an English teacher, I would have studied marketing. I have a question for Adela. Did I become a teacher? In this example, did I become a teacher?
No.
No?
Oh, yes, because it's negative.
Okay, yes. So, if I hadn't become a teacher, so this means I did become a teacher. Okay, so the third conditional is always the opposite of reality, okay?
Yeah.
The past perfect. This is the opposite of reality. All right? So I did become a teacher, all right? Kako, did I study marketing? I would have studied marketing. Did I study marketing?
Yes, teacher. The third conditional is a situation that not concreted,
Mm-hmm, not possible.
not
Exactly, okay.
possible.
All right, so I'm going to ask you, so I would have studied marketing. Did this mean that I did study marketing? Yes or no?
No, no.
Yes. No, I didn't. Very good. All right, I'm going to keep going. David, is this situation real or imagination?
That situation, sorry, that situation is not realistic, is imagination.
Yeah, imagination. And then one more for France. Are we talking about the past, present, or future here?
No, we are talking about the past.
Exactly.
Just a little question, by the way. Can I change, for example, instead of use would to use might in the third conditional?
Okay, very good question. Yes, we'll get into this now. So, yes, we can. We have options here. Instead of would, we could also say might have. And what else could we say here?
Could.
Mm-hmm. What's the difference? Would, might, could. What are the differences in the meaning here?
It's about the probability.
Okay, which one is probability?
Would, could.
Yes.
No, might. Yeah. It has a slight difference.
Mm-hmm. So would is just plain old hypothetical, right?
Yeah.
If we say might, like it's possible. I'm not sure. We'd say could. Could is you're able to. Yeah?
Yeah.
Like the ability to do something.
A past possibility.
Yep, a past possibility as well. Very good. So yeah, we can mix and match all these. Depends on how you want to express yourself. But the main thing we want to understand here, in order for the third conditional to make sense, the if clause has to be the opposite of reality. So really, really focus on that today, okay? So the if clause is the opposite of reality, and that helps it make sense. All right. So we're gonna do a little quick game here. I'm gonna start with Yvonne. Welcome, Yvonne. How you doing? I'm fine. It's very can't hear you too well. Make sure your microphone's connected. Can everyone else? Is it really really soft?
I can hear.
His
I
voice
cannot
is
hear.
Yeah, Yvonne, you have to check your microphone. I'm not sure. Maybe get your voice closer. All right, we'll get back to Yvonne.
Okay.
All right, Lou. Yvonne, is that you?
Yeah, I just changed
Alright.
my device.
better.
All right, so I'm gonna give this one to you, Yvonne. Okay? I'm not sure. You weren't born in the United States, were you?
No.
Okay. So with this structure, I want you to get some practice. I want you to finish this sentence. Complete the sentence. If I had been born in the United States, blah 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 blah. All right? I'll give you some time to think, okay? I want you to prepare it. Luis, I'm gonna give this one to you, okay?
Okay.
I would have been rich if. Marcos, I'm gonna give you this if I had won the lottery. All right. We're going back to Adela. Whoa, I didn't change this from my last class that I did. Adela, I'm gonna give you this. If I hadn't come to class today. Here, guys, I'm gonna organize this a little better. There we go. All right. And then we have Kako. I'm gonna give you this one. I would have been better at English. And then David, I'm gonna give you this one. If I had been born with superpowers, I hope you like X-Men and all that stuff. All right. And Franz, the last one for you is I would have felt sad if. All right. I'm going to give everyone a couple minutes to prepare the ending, the second part of the sentence, okay?
I finished.
All right. Who is that?
Marcos.
All right, Marcos, can you put it in the chat and I'll paste it in, okay?
There it is.
Perfect.
I would have helped some of my relatives and close friends.
I finished too.
All right, put it in the chat when you're finished, okay? I'm gonna
Okay.
put it in here. Make sure you got everything correct. All right, France. All right, let's start with Marcos. So, Marcos, can you read yours, please?
Yes, if I had won the lottery, I would have helped some of my relatives and close friends.
All right, perfect. All right, so you have the exact structure here. If I had participle won, I would have helped. And everyone make sure you understand regular verbs are the same in the past simple and the participle. They do not change. Very good. I want you to listen close, Marcos, and everyone else. When I say this quickly, how does it sound? If I'd won the lottery, I would have helped some of my relatives and close friends.
Okay.
Can you distinguish
Yes.
the structure?
Could you say one more time?
I'm going to say it one more time. Everyone, be quiet. If I'd won the lottery, I would have helped some of my relatives and close friends. Can you say that? I want you to practice saying it quickly, because the way I understand listening is if you can pronounce it, you can understand it. All right. So how I'm saying it is, I said if I
Oh,
had
the contracted form.
won the lottery,
Oh,
I would have.
would have.
This almost sounds like of. I would have helped some of my relatives, and close friends.
Justin, just a little question, not really sure. Why do you say I would have and not I'd have?
I'd have helped some friends. Hmm. Good question. I'd help some friends, some of my relatives and close friends. I don't know. I feel like they both could work, but the more common structure is would have. I would
Okay.
have.
Okay.
Because if I contracted both I had and I would, it would sound really, it would be hard to distinguish. If I'd won the lottery, I'd have helped some friends. It's more difficult. It really is.
Okay.
It's an easier transition to go to would have than would have. I'd have is a difficult transition.
Okay.
So this is easier. It's more natural. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So everyone, I want you to focus on this sentence, how I've done the contractions, and listen one more time, okay? If I'd won the lottery, I would have helped some friends, some of my relatives and close friends. It's very quick, so you have to be really, really, if you understand this tense, you have to really listen closely for these subtle sounds. If I'd. I don't even think people think of this contraction. I don't even think of it. When I say it, I just say if I'd won. If I'd won. It's very small sound. Okay? If I'd won. So Marcos, can you say it one more time quickly for me and try to focus on the pronunciation of the contractions?
Okay. If I'd won the lottery, I'd have helped some of my relatives and close friends.
This is tricky, isn't it? I would have.
Yeah. I would have.
Would have. Yep. I would have helped.
Would have helped.
Very good. Nice. All right. Let's go next in line here. Adela, you're next. So Adela, can you read yours for me, please?
If I hadn't come to class today, I'd have sleep. I think it's not correct, but 4 hours.
I would have slept for hours.
Yes,
Just hours, yes? Okay, for how many hours?
for a lot of hours.
Okay, for many hours. Yeah. We could say many hours, or if you want to do the opposite, you could say for
2 hours.
a few hours. Yeah. Or another way, I would probably, if you want to say many hours, another way I would say it. Anybody have any other ways to say many hours? For
Or can be 2 hours ago. No.
a long time. I don't know. For a long time, you can say that.
A long time.
But very good. All right, I want you to do it. I want you to do it one more time, quickly, with this contraction here. Okay? Would have. Would have.
Would have. If I hadn't come to class today, I wouldn't sleep for many hours.
Okay, very good. Can we make this any shorter? Notice the negative here. If I'd won the lottery, this is very short. This one is negative. This is as short as it goes. If I hadn't.
Hadn't come to class today, I would have. Oh, sorry.
No, don't worry.
Would have slept for many hours.
Yeah,
Sure.
would have.
Would
And don't.
would have.
Yep.
Would have.
And Adela, don't worry about the pronunciation. I'm just trying to elicit some more natural pronunciation. But if you want to say I would have, That's completely correct, completely fine. But I just want you to understand how a lot of native speakers say would've. Okay? And if you want to practice, this is the perfect time to do it. I would've.
I could have slept for many hours.
Very good.
Okay.
Excellent. All right. Next, we've got Luis. Luis.
Okay.
1 second.
I
I'm going to
could.
paste yours in here. Oh, wait. No, Franz. Sorry. Franz.
Okay.
You're next.
Yep.
All right, Franz.
Yes, I would have felt sad if I'd lost my dog.
Okay. Very good. If I'd lost my dog. So notice how we have the opposite. Now the if clause is on the second part, not the first part. Yes? All right. So do you notice if there's a pause here? I would have felt sad if I'd lost my dog. Is there a pause?
There's a little one, maybe?
Actually, no. If the if clause is in the middle, there's no pause. So there's no comma. I would have felt sad if I'd lost my dog.
Okay.
All right, you want to practice it one more time and try to contract some of those sounds.
Okay. I would have felt sad if I lost my dog.
Excellent pronunciation. Excellent. Notice you can barely hear this. Had is very, very, it's not stressed at all, okay?
Okay.
Very good, Luis. All right, Kako. I have yours. I think all right, I would have, wait. Let me paste this in here. Do I have the right one under Kako here?
Teacher,
Hmm?
I
There we
would.
go. All right, this one's for you, Kako.
Yeah.
All right,
I
you want to
would.
read it? Yep.
I would have been better at English if I had taken more part in classes, or if I had taken part in a bigger number of classes.
If I had taken part, you said it better the second time. Part in.
In a bigger number
Actually, let's just keep it
of
simple here.
classes.
Let's keep it simple. If I had taken part in more classes.
Ah, okay, in more classes.
And why are these together? This is taken part
Collocation.
in. Taken part in is a phrasal verb. Yeah, it's non-separable. You don't take part. You take part in something.
Okay,
So
teacher.
you can't separate this phrasal verb. Usually, if a phrasal verb has 3 words like this, take part in, and a preposition's at the end, it's not separable. Okay.
Okay,
So
teacher.
that's a
Thank
good.
you.
Yep, that's a good indicator. Very good. All right, you want to say it one more time and try to contract some of those sounds?
I would have been better at English if I had taken part in more classes.
All right. Yep, and you actually said have twice because you said I would have been.
Ah,
Not
okay.
necessary. I would have been.
I would have been better at English. I would have been better at English if I had taken part in more classes.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Exactly.
have been better.
Nice. Excellent pronunciation. All right, David, we're back to you. Superpowers.
Yeah, Justin. Superpowers, right. Read the sentence. Yeah.
Yep. Can you read it for me, please?
Okay. If I had been born with superpowers, I would have been a very good friend of Spider.
Very good friend of Spider-Man. All right. Good. Excellent. All right. So, and that was good pronunciation. Very good pronunciation.
Okay.
All right. And just make sure to capitalize your I's. I'm very picky on punctuation and capitalization.
Yeah, right.
All right. But yeah, you got the comma in the correct spot. Nice. Nice work, David.
Okay.
All right. Who am I missing here? I think is that everyone? Yvonne, are you still around? Yvonne? Yvonne? No? Alright, we'll see if he comes back. Alright. Now, this is
Yes,
going to be kind of...
teacher.
Oh, Ivan, do you have
I'm
yours?
sorry, I'm sorry. I was
Don't worry.
just listening to the other participants.
Don't worry.
Um, um, so, if I had been born in the United States, I I would have lived in Hawaii.
Alright. Yeah, that's a good choice. Definitely. Very good.
Thank you.
Excellent. So, nice work, Ivan. So now I want everyone. This is going to be kind of a fun little guessing game. We're gonna gradually get into a little more comfort and quick. We're gonna be able to express ourselves quicker in this tense with the next few activities. So the next activity I have for you, I want everyone to create their own part of a sentence, just like this. Okay, so you can start it with "I would have felt sad," anything, but I want it to be only part of the sentence. We're gonna guess the sentence. So I could say, I would have, whoops, would have learned another language. And then I know the second part, but I don't want to, it's a secret, okay? The second part is a secret. So you can do either the would clause, or you can do the past perfect clause. If I had learned another language. But just one part of it, okay? The other part's a secret. We're going to do a little guessing game and learn a little bit about each other, okay? Are there any questions?
No.
These are examples, so I want them to be realistic if possible. If you can't think of a realistic example, do imaginary. But do a realistic, and this is a lost opportunity, right? I want you to introduce a lost opportunity. I would have learned other language, but I didn't. Yeah. If I had learned another language, because I didn't, I lost the opportunity. I would have. All right. So just one part. Try to be creative here, okay? So really what we're expressing here is introduce lost opportunity or a regret. Plain and simple as that. Very good. We got a couple examples here. It looks like France, nice. Excellent. Mode goes. All right, so we're going to play a fun little game here, a little guessing game. All right, we're all going to guess the second half, and Franz is going to tell us who is the closest, see if anybody can guess the right answer. All right, so Adela, what do you think? Franz said, I would have bought a Porsche.
If they have enough money.
If I
No.
have?
It no had.
There you
Sorry,
go.
I had
Enough money.
enough money.
Very good. All right, anybody? Kako, do you have a good guess?
I I would have lived in luxury.
Okay, so
No.
all right, Kako. So you just exposed a very. I would have lived in it. You said I would have lived in different. Wait. In a different country?
Luxury.
Oh, in luxury. Sorry. I'm thinking. All right. So Kako, Is that how, am I pronouncing your name correctly, Kako? Sorry, I should have asked
Perfect,
right away.
teacher.
All
Perfect.
right, cool. All right, Kako. So you exposed a very common error that native speakers use all the time. Before I was a teacher, I used to say this, and it is acceptable in everyday conversation, but it is not good grammar. You said I would have bought a Porsche if
Ah, okay, teacher. Oh,
I would
sorry,
have bought a
sorry,
Porsche
sorry, teacher. I,
if I would
uh,
have.
I would have bought a Porsche if I lived um, if I lived in
Yeah.
plenty of money.
Okay, if I'd
If I
had.
had lived in if I had lived in plenty of money.
Okay. First, I'm gonna talk about your first example. So everyone, you might hear this in everyday conversation. I would have bought a Porsche if I would have lived in luxury.
It's strange.
It's very strange, but a lot of natives say would have. Okay? Whoops. I would have lived in luxury. So I would have bought a Porsche if I would have lived in luxury. You might hear people say it like this, would, but yes, this has to be in the past. And you got the past perfect. If I had lived in plenty of money, but I prefer a different verb. Have plenty of money. Let's change it to have plenty of money,
If
not
I
lived in.
have had plenty of money. If I had.
Exactly. And that's a good example of it really looks strange, doesn't it? Two hads in a row. But this is a participle of have. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna mute you, friends. So it looks strange. We have two hads in a row, but this had is the present, past present, past perfect. Sorry. And this had is our principal verb. It's our main verb, so we have to have the participle. So this is fine. Had. If I had plenty of money. But
It's okay,
usually
teacher.
it's okay. But usually we would contract this. It sounds a little bit better and it looks better. If I'd had plenty of money. Okay?
Thank you.
But if have is your primary verb, it's fine to say had. It looks really repetitive for English, but it's fine.
If I'd had plenty of money.
Yep. If I had plenty of money. Exactly. Nice. All right. Very good. Let's keep going here.
Justin,
Yes.
there's
Question?
a missing of between plenty and money.
Ah, thank you. All right. Just to make sure we get through everyone, I'm going to just do two people. We'll have two people guess for each person. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna go backwards. Actually, Kako. So I have Kako's or Adela. So Adela, I would have traveled around the world if. All right. So next we have David. What do you think, David?
Yeah, yeah, you see. I would. Okay, I would travel around the world if I had money to burn. It's
Money
okay.
to what?
Money to burn. It's like an idiom. It's like you have plenty of money.
Money to
Burn, burn, burn.
be
Burn.
burn. Okay,
Yeah,
I've had
burn,
money to burn. Money doesn't grow on trees. Very good. Yeah, burn. I'm.
burn. Sorry.
That's fine. Your pronunciation's a little more UK, British English. In American English, we usually pronounce the R a little bit more. That's why maybe I didn't understand you. Don't worry, I don't understand British English sometimes. It's not that big of a problem. Okay. Um, very good. Then Franz, what do you think about Adela's here?
I would say um, I'd if I'd had enough time.
If I'd
If
had,
I if I'd had enough time.
All right. And this is why I'm saying, this sounds fine to me if I had enough time. This sound right here is so small, we don't even think about it. We don't even hear it sometimes. So I bet a lot of natives, they don't think about it. They don't even know the exact structure. I'm a teacher, so I know, but a lot of native speakers, they don't even think about this structure, which is why we have this common error of would've. All right. Before we continue, Franz, can
Yes.
you tell us what's your real answer here? Let's see if Adela and Kako got the right answer.
Yes, I would have bought a Porsche if I had a driver's license. If I'd had a driver's license.
Oh, no one was close on that one. All right. Adela, what is your real answer?
If I had been retired, for example.
Yeah, listen to the pronunciation here. Retired.
Retired, or is good, France. If I had or I have enough time.
Oh, so you agree with Francis? Good.
Yes, it's safe. Yes, it's
Nice.
the same problem.
All right, very good. All right, we have Marcos. So Ivan, if Marcos had saved more money, what do you think? Ivan? No, he's gone. All right, Luis, what do you think?
Um, if I've if I had saved money, I could have buy a Porsche.
All right, I would have buy. Remember the participle
buy
have.
buy I
Mm,
could have buy
bought. Listen,
but
bought.
sorry, uh,
Oh, don't
a
worry, don't worry.
Porsche.
For everyone that has problems with the pronunciation of these pasts, I call this the not group. All right, we have buy, bought, not bought. Then we have what else? Bring, brought, not brought. What else do we have? Teach, not taught. All right, and these all have the same. These all have the same participles. Not fought, catch, not caught. Okay. So whenever you think of the pronunciation of these pasts, this is a group. Okay. Just rhyme it with not. Not, bought, brought, taught, fought, caught. Okay? We call it the not group. All right, very good, Luis. Who's next here? We've got Marcos. You can't guess your own, so we're going to go back to Adela. Adela, what do you think?
Um, if I had saved money, I wouldn't have needed a loan. A loan.
Alone?
Loan, no? It's a personal in a bank, no?
Yeah, alone. Well, if you had saved money, you would have needed a loan or maybe a savings account.
Ah, no, sorry. Sorry. I think it's negative if hadn't said. I have need a deposit
Okay, deposit.
or an investment.
Okay, I would have needed an investment.
Yes.
Or how about what is the verb that we use with investment? Not need an investment. You
No. Yes.
make an investment. So what's the past
Yes.
participle of make?
Make.
Made.
Investment.
Yes. And you change the negative verb, but it's positive. I would
If I
have made.
hadn't. Yeah.
Okay.
This makes sense though. If I had saved money, I would have made an investment.
Yes,
It
because
makes sense.
I think negative. Uh, I
Wait,
don't know.
wait. Let's talk about the not group here. Think. What's the past?
Teacher,
Think
Ought.
thought.
Yeah? Question.
the contract form here is wouldn't had
No. The not
wouldn't have.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. The not really separates it, okay? It really separates. You can't contract all of these together. So you contract would not, wouldn't, and then have is by itself. Hadn't, that's fine. You can contract had not. But you can't say I didn't. No. You have to either contract I had or had not. Yeah? You can either say I'd not and not save money. No. If there's not there, you do I hadn't. Right? If it's positive, I'd. If it's negative, contract had with not. Okay? Yeah, it's a very tricky tense. This is why there's a lot of different things that go along with it. Just for the pronunciation alone is tricky, yes? All right, let's listen to Marcos. So what is your real response here, Marcos?
If I had saved money, I would have bought a car.
Okay, wow, Luis. A Porsche, Marcos?
Nope.
What kind of car?
Well, a normal one, not a sport one. An average car.
All right, good. Well, Luis, you won that round. Nice work. All right, we got Luis here, and then I see David's here as well. So, Luis, Marcos, I want you to guess Luis's.
I would have been a better person if. That's different.
That's a tricky one.
Yeah. I would have been a better person if I had. If I had. If I had a person to guide me.
Okay.
So I
Nice,
would
all
have
right.
been a better person if I had a person to guide me.
All right, if I'd had a person to guide me.
Yeah.
Yep. And like I said, had sounds really strange to us, so we usually say I'd had. If I'd had a person to guide me.
Okay.
Nice. All right. Who hasn't gone for a while here? Looks like everyone's got a little time in. We got Luis, Adela. Franz, I haven't heard from you for a while. What do you have, Franz? Or David, actually. I haven't heard from David. What do you think, David?
Oh, yeah, okay. I would have been a better person if probably if I had lived with a priest.
Priest.
Yeah, with a priest.
Or in a church.
Yeah, like a church.
Okay. All right, Luis, what is the reality here? The reality imaginary situation.
If I if I'd help uh, my mother every time she asks me.
She asks. All right. Well, so now you said she asked. All right. That's fine. I'd helped my mother every time she asked. That's fine. Or we could even make this into she had asked in the past. The difference is present, future, past. See that? Asked, present, future. This is all in the past. So you can mix them. You can mix them up. It's a mixed conditional, or you can do whatever you want. Right now it's a third conditional, but you can also mix the second part as well. Good. All right, we have one more, David. So Franz, I'll give you this one. Franz, what do you have for David's? Wait. Sorry, we have to ask Luis. Wait, no. God, I'm getting all confused. David, go ahead.
Okay.
You mean me right now?
No, let's Franz. Let's finish David's, and then we'll get David's real opinion. What do you think,
Okay.
Franz?
I think that David would have bought another PC if he had won in a lottery.
And won the lottery. All right, Franz. Let's see, and then I just want to go through here and make sure everyone's got involved. We got David, Marcos, Luis, Adela, Franz, David, Kako, Adela. All right, Kako, I haven't heard from you for a while. What do you have for David's? No? All right, Marcos, let's hear from you.
Okay,
Okay.
teacher.
Oh, all right. All right, Kako, what do you got?
I wouldn't have bought another PC if mine had not hadn't um, hadn't mm, worked out.
Worked
Can I
out.
suggest a word?
Yep.
Crashed.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that means
better.
completely different. If mine hadn't crashed.
Yeah.
So we're gonna finish on a little. I want to make sure you guys understand this now. So did he buy a computer or no?
He bought.
Yeah.
He bought.
Yes,
Yes.
he bought.
So because it's the opposite of reality. I would not have bought a computer if mine hadn't crashed. Because crash. What does crash mean?
Broke.
Stop working.
Yep. Break down. Stop
Yeah.
working. Nice. All right. But Kako, what did you say? You said if mine hadn't worked out. So if it worked out, do you need a computer or not? If your computer worked out.
If mine hadn't stopped working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stopped working. Very good.
Stopped
Garen.
working.
Garen after stop. Nice work. Yeah, workout is actually positive. Like if it works
Exercise.
out, it's good. It's good if it works out. Yeah, everything is fine. All right, if it works out, everything is fine. Everything is good. It worked out. All right, David. What is the real answer here?
Okay. Not the real answer. I wouldn't have bought another PC if my sister had broken the last one.
Had or hadn't?
Sorry?
Had
broke.
or hadn't?
Hadn't. Hadn't
Very
broken
good.
the last one.
Hadn't broke?
Broken the
There you go. The first one. Or my last one.
last one. Okay.
Yeah, is this real? Your sister actually broke your last computer?
Yeah, it's part true. Yeah, and part like.
Oh,
Yeah, she almost broke that.
all right, so I'm going to send you guys off with a little homework since we don't have time. Unfortunately, we didn't get to the last activity. I thought we'd have plenty of time, but it's all right. So this is what I want you to do at home. Think about a big decision you made in your life. All right, we got time. We got 4 minutes. I want everyone to do this right now, quickly, okay? Tell me about a big decision you made in your life and decide how your life would be differently if it had gone the other way. Okay? So like me, if this is my example, if I hadn't met a great Colombian friend at the university, I wouldn't have moved to Colombia. Okay? This is my big decision. Yeah, I really probably wouldn't be where I'm living now if it hadn't been for that Colombian friend. All right, so I want everyone, when you're ready, please tell me and I'll be listening, okay?
Okay.
Quickly, though. This is going to be the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay. Can I?
All right?
Marcos, can I?
All right. Yep, go ahead, Marcos.
If I hadn't started to play video games, I wouldn't have started to study English.
Very good. Very good. And notice start infinitive. Excellent grammar there. Nice, Marcos. Great work. All right, who else?
If I hadn't married my wife, I might have married another.
Don't tell her that.
Yeah.
I might have. Yeah, we didn't really focus on that much. I might have married another. Might. It's possible, but according to your wife, no, it's not
Yeah,
possible.
that's right.
All right, very good. All right, so very good. Next.
Caco,
All right, Kako, let's hear you.
if I hadn't studied engineering, I would have been a physics teacher.
Physics teacher. Cool. Yep. If I hadn't, comma, I would have. Nice. All right, next.
If Luis,
All right, Luis, let's hear it.
if I hadn't had my currently job,
Current job.
current job, I I wouldn't I wouldn't uh, have I wouldn't have um, start or
Start.
continued
Okay.
my studies.
That's good. All right, very good. I think we're missing David and Adela, yes?
If I hadn't studied biology, I wouldn't have teached in my school.
Have teached? Be careful, it's part of the not. The not group. Teach,
Teached.
not taught.
Taught. Taught.
Okay, I wouldn't have taught.
Yes. It's irregular. Yes.
Very good. Yep, just remember that not group. All right, David, last but not least.
Okay, just if I had applied to the army, I wouldn't studied at university.
I would or wouldn't?
I wouldn't.
Wouldn't have studied at the university.
Yeah, that's okay. That's right.
Nice. You guys are all champs at this grammar already. Very good. I felt really like you're very comfortable with it. Just the main thing I noticed was people not using the participle, okay? But I think you have a really good understanding on the past perfect, which is very important in this tense, okay? So I hope you can use this tense more frequently and comfortably in the future, and I definitely enjoyed all of you in class. You're very, very good participants.
Okay,
Very good
thank you.
participation. Any last minute questions?
No, thank you.
No?
Mhm.
All right. Well, it's great seeing some of you that I haven't seen for a while, and I'm going to have another class in about 4 hours, so maybe if you're still on, I'll see you then. If not, I hope to see you in the near future, okay?
Yeah, the same.
Thank you,
you,
Joseph.
teacher.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Bye,
you're welcome.
everybody.
Take care, everyone. Have a great
Take
day.
care.